Hey guys, we are here at GDC. I'm with the Butterscotch Shenanigans brothers, and we're going to be looking at Crashlands, which we've posted about before. It's a upcoming game from them, and we're going to check out the latest demo now. So, take it away, brothers.
Here we go.
We have a cutscene going on. This cutscene is not going to be in the final version.
Okay.
This is the GDC. This is the slapped together GDC cutscene so that there's some kind of exposition happening.
So what you're saying is this is exclusive content for our viewers.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's just for you guys.
Okay.
You two.
And everyone else.
And everyone else.
The basic idea of the story is that you play as Flux Dabes, who's a scientist engineer who's been dispatched to a planet called Wono to retrieve crap loads of juice. Juice being an energy source that the Earth needs.
Juice.
Juice has made appearances in some of our other games.
Yes.
So,
complicating story elements happen that we haven't written yet. So you'll just have to believe us. This is Q, the evil guy.
Not into that shit.
No, he's a distant related to Pete and Joey and some of the other villains from our other games as well.
I love all the interconnectivity of the different games.
It's all in the same universe. Okay, look at that.
Look at that sweet horizon.
So the game itself is a big sort of it's a crafting and exploration is sort of the mode of the game, right?
Okay.
So what we're popping into here, we're gonna Crashland. Here we go.
Into a conveniently pre-built outpost.
We're slapping juice box. GDC demo mode activated. That was a great landing, Flux. Highest compliments. Okay. Then it looks dangerous. There are all kinds of things out there that want you murdered. You'll need a weapon to hit animals in the face with. It's the circle of life. Go slap the breaker and craft a flat stone hammer, which you somehow already have the materials for. So again, this is a demo.
Your primary action with your interaction with everything in the game is slapping.
And the whole thing's built to just be, touch.
Yeah.
So that's sort of our big point here is a really intense crafting game. The whole thing's just one touch oriented, so it's incredibly intuitive. The construction of stuff, it will not be a free to play. These are not timers that you're going to be paying to reduce.
Okay.
This is like an RTS timer where payment is important.
Just means something.
Time is important.
Important to be clear about that.
Exactly. Yeah. So we just built our flat stone hammer here. It turned out to be ordinary, unfortunately. It does a random roll for
the items that you craft, weapons and armor, stuff like that, they have chances to have bonus stats on them. That, for example, you may be able to strike lightning on people when you hit them, or all kinds of stuff.
Okay, cool.
So Juicebox has now given us some armor.
He found it on the ground.
Which we can pop into this UI screen, which isn't done yet.
Let's talk about inventory management.
Also, there isn't any.
Yeah, so what we've done is we have contextual inventory. So instead of having just a huge bag of crap that you have to sift through all the time, what you do in this, for example, this is your equipment screen. When you tap on the pants slot, it shows you the pants you have. That's it. So, because
like how every game should be.
Yeah, the thing we thought was the only time you care about pants is when you're putting them on.
Yeah.
And once they're on, you don't give a crap.
Some of us don't care about pants at all.
Yeah, some of us don't even get to that step. But for those of us who do, this is helpful.
And this is how the combat works. Is the creatures get super angry and they put these. Everything kind of is telegraphed. So have you seen a game like WildStar?
We might have borrowed it from WildStar.
Okay. May have stolen it from so when the Womp comes to attack me, he puts a little marker on the ground. We know exactly where he's coming down on. So we do what's called the Dance of Death.
That's pretty cool.
I just one shot.
Yeah, so he's about level 3 to 5 armor. That's level 1 creature. So because we're shortcutting it for the demo.
Yeah.
So.
So we kill a couple of them. Juicebox runs away during combat, so we gotta wait. We just harvest some sawgrass. Also, the items automatically pick up. So the whole idea is we want people to just be able to run around and explore, gather much materials.
And not do tedious stuff that you have to do in your ordinary survival.
So while we were out, Juicebox found a Womp incubator.
Oh.
So what I'm gonna do is show you the build mode, which is also one of the huge features of this game. So again, any sort of really fun crafting game, base building game, you want to be able to build a base. And we found playing all of them is that they're always tedious. As tedious
placing
as they
things brick by brick and walking all across your base to put things down.
So
sucks.
In Crashlands, we wanted to aim for something that's more like a painting experience.
Okay.
So in this case, say we wanted to pick up all these floors, we could just do this.
Oh, okay.
And the one that won't go away is the one that has some structure.
Okay.
So we'll take that one out. Just leave it. take it out, and then replace that with something else, like say a wall or a door. We can come back in here. We can put these floors back down, rearrange the house a little bit.
So you just draw with your finger how you want it to be.
And the cool thing is this takes out a lot of the strain of building a base. So when you get a bunch of cool new items, so you get like a bunch of new gold floors and build a bunch of them. You don't have to
manually remove each floor.
Yeah, you just go in.
And floors will actually swap out with each other.
Yeah, so if I take these fertile dirt, which is good for planting seeds. So if say I want to actually make an internal garden in my house, I can just do this.
Wow.
Swap it out.
Fertile.
So
actually, it's fertile. Yeah.
Fertile.
Fertile.
And the other thing we got. So the other thing we got here is we got the Wampa egg. So the other fun trick in this game is that every creature you find, you can beat the crap out of, you can
have as a pet.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. Okay.
The pets actually also create items as well. So could you have here and get your construction hat on? I gotta put walls down before he triggers.
It's not a base until there's a wall.
There we go. Here's
then
the
it's a base.
Good enough.
That's a base.
That's a great base.
Wall-ish.
I'll make a nice hallway here. Put down some torches. Glorches, because they're glow torches. Maybe we don't need it. This will be the entrance to the house. Okay, juice box, I did it. That is the finest looking base this side of some river. Juice box is very nice. So we just give you a bunch of the stuff that you go in. Normally, of course, you would just be playing through.
You'd be crafting all these things, but we're just shortcutting.
Is this the end of it? Is that...
Yeah, you have no more missions.
Okay, so now I just slap this egg.
Okay.
So now we got our baby Wampin. So normally what happens is you would have to go fight a bunch of these creatures.
Yeah.
And then you would find a special creature.
Okay.
And when you kill that special creature, we're gonna drop a special egg, which takes like 10 minutes or so to incubate.
Yeah.
And now we can name him.
Oh.
So what do you want to name him? So what's a Touch Arcade name for this hippo thing?
Name it Carter. It's a hippo thing.
Oh yeah.
Kata.
All right, now that we've named Carter, we can either turn him into a station, so we can milk him.
Wow.
Feed him some sawgrass.
Milk Carter.
We're gonna milk Carter. We're gonna do that. We'll need that later. So
sometimes we just get out of stock.
Or if we want, so he's super tiny, right? So we want to take him out unstable. So we can take him around with us. And he'll just kind of automatically be awesome, and we can direct him around and be like, Carter, why don't you go?
So again, it's sort of in keeping with everything should be super easy and intuitive.
Yeah.
Whenever you go to fight something, your pet just will come with you and fight it.
So he's gonna go ham on this other one.
Bam.
He's little right now, so he can't.
He doesn't do a lot of damage yet, so they grow over time. The more
time
you
you
use
spend
them,
with
the bigger they get. They get really big.
Take them out for ice cream, make the love grow strong.
And we're also, and this is not in the game yet, but we do have some plans for almost like a Pokemon-esque evolution sort of thing, where once your pets get to a certain size, you'll be able to go through these almost like a mini quest sort of a thing to obtain some items to make them even bigger and even more powerful and crazier looking.
So what we've got here is this is a teleporter. So again, the game is actually based on exploration. So we haven't even talked about how the world works yet. It's actually split into 3 distinct biomes. We're in the savannah right now, which is the starting one. There's about, from what we've seen with the alpha testers, between what looks like 8 to 12 hours of content in this biome.
Okay.
Just there will be stories.
Or actually, I believe it took 18 hours of gameplay before the first person made it out of the savannah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
we've got probably about 50
plus
hours of gameplay just in terms of the core mechanics. We don't have the story in yet, so that'll add at least 20 minutes.
At least 20 minutes.
20 minutes of story.
And so the story will be focused. The story actually does not really interact with the crafting.
Okay.
It's essentially based on getting you to the next biome and then letting you, of course, do boss fights, which are the best. The map. I can't seem to.
Oh, that zoom thing.
Is it weird? Some zoom weird happened? Okay, well, the map.
It's okay. Things happen.
Things happen. Okay.
Beta is beta.
There we go. Okay.
There you go.
My fingers just
You're just missing, yeah.
So the map is actually infinite. So right now we've only discovered, and we mean infinite.
A very tiny portion.
We actually have 3 infinite biomes. So whatever 3 times infinite is, that's how big.
So here we can see, kind of tracks your feet. So we're just going to run down and right while we continue chatting here.
Okay.
Show you some more stuff. Each of the biomes has a couple of different, sort of environment types, as well as special types. So this is a tar pit that'll show up, which has turtles, which is little
tar creatures.
And if we go try to get sassy.
You could probably take him.
I just want to show him the attack. So he sets up on fire.
He hurls flaming balls of tar out of his mouth.
So of course Carter's just going hard.
Carter's going to whoop up on that tar.
Go hard.
This is a glidopus, so they live around the water.
They're electrically charged, hovering. 3 tentacles.
You can sassy on them, come after us. And they also, certain creatures really like certain resources. So see, this is a whistle root right here. So if we go and break this, all the glidopus are going to be very upset.
They're protective of their whistle roots.
Reactive thing. We need more dirt. And we explored a little bit. So these teleporters you can randomly find that kind of help you jump around the map. Let's jump back home real quick, and we should press this button. So the world's huge. Oh no! Go! So
Carter warps with you as well.
Yeah, Carter would come with you. So we've also got. We can come in here and
plant some seeds. Looks like.
Yeah, put some seeds now. We have this little garden path here. We can pop some of these in here. And the nice thing about it, of course, it's very easy to do. So. We played this on the airplane on the way here. I played it for like 4 hours. Rebuilt my base, a couple times because it was actually convenient as I got new materials. And now we're going to put down all of the stations we got so far, which goes up to the breaker. Right there.
Yeah, so for the end of the demo, we just filled in all the prior stations that lead up to the point where you are.
Okay.
Let's look at recipe tracking as well.
Yeah. So let's go into the breaker.
So one thing we also realized was that it'd be really nice if there was a way to keep an eye on the thing that you're really going. A lot of times in these crafting games, you'll see something you really want, and then you go out and you seek out the materials.
Yeah. You're like, how many kneecaps did I need? Yeah. I don't remember. So we actually just put a tracker in. So a lot of these sort of quality of life things. So say we want to build, we want to work on the next station. So we just hit track. Now tracking recipe, and you pop back out here. Now in the top right corner, you can see you actually know what you're trying to get.
It tells you what station to go to when you're done, so you can actually find it.
And one thing this is particularly useful for mobile players who tend to play in shorter bursts, and you may forget what you were doing 6 hours prior, while you were on the toilet at work.
Yeah.
So
and all the timers run in real time though. So so if you leave the game for a while and come back, then all of your timers will still run down, so you can harvest the things that have grown overnight.
So those plants will grow, and if you're crafting something that's really crazy powerful, so we have trinkets. We have these items called trinkets and gadgets. Trinkets are slotted items that provide passive benefits to your character. So it's a way to customize the way that your character plays. For example, you may want to do crazy amounts of electric damage, or harvest faster, or run faster, or heal over time, or whatever. Those things tend to take a lot more materials. You only need one of them ever, per type of trinket. And they can sometimes take up to maybe 10 minutes to build or something.
Very long.
And so you gotta put some effort into it.
They pop into this hotbar down here. So combat starts off very simple with just your weapon, right? Doing the little dance. And eventually you'll get stuff like harvest bombs, which I don't think are used for combat anymore.
You can just throw one.
They throw, so we can throw them, and they'll. If you get tired of having to harvest everything one by one, build a harvest bomb, and it's sort of set it and forget it situation.
Which is also good for gardening.
Yeah. So you garden, grow a bunch of stuff, and then you throw a bomb on it. And so your hotbar down here actually becomes in sort of active combat. So Seth was talking about those gadgets. Build a flamethrower, build a shock prod, poisoning devices, something that heals you, and they all have cooldown associated with them. So combat is this sort of, you're doing the dance of death up here, and then you're switching to a blowpipe and shooting an animal in the eye with a blowpipe, and that sort of thing. So we're going to head to the ball now.
So the next biome.
This game has a crap load of crap in it, is what you're saying.
It has.
How many things, Seth, so far?
I think. I don't know. I think there's over 800 things. Just in general things you can get or interact with. And we're not.
It's enormous.
I would say we're maybe 2/3 done with sort of the core content.
Okay.
And then we got to get the story, which we have some pretty big plans for stuff in terms of story, but we're not going to reveal anything until we know it's possible what we're trying to do.
We're trying to do something crazy.
Just keep an eye out for some announcements on it.
So this is the bog. This is the second
it's becoming nighttime.
Perfect. It's a creepy place. It's actually, the story idea is it's actually a living creature, the entire zone is, and so all these creatures are sort of, parasitic. And the bog, again, so it's another infinite biome, and it just has all these bunch of different land types, another suite of creatures that go with it, and a bunch of sort of weird interactions that you have to learn.
Do you have a bed in your inventory? You can switch it back to day?
Now you have to build a bed.
But I want to show them. I hope the Throaks come out and try to kill me. There's all sorts of crazy nighttime creatures as well.
Also, the bog, it has rivers of acid in it for some reason.
Wow. It looked like predator vision right there.
It's a gross.
It's a really color. It's nighttime now, so you can't quite see the vibrant colors, but it's pretty bright.
Yeah, and so the game does. So this is on iPod, right? So the game does run very well.
Oh, let's check out the radio menu too. So check out. So these are Jolly Chomps. These little red things here. When you tap on them, there's some things in the world that require specific items to interact with. So we have these radio menus that'll tell you what you need.
Okay.
And what's even cooler is we have bullet time when the radio menu is open.
Yes,
so
we do.
if you ever click on something, you need to make a split decision. About it. You don't have a trowel yet. So
So that's.
yeah.
Is that, are those the things you need to interact with that?
Yeah,
thing?
so you'll need a
I don't have
trowel
the tool yet.
to pry
Oh,
those
okay.
green things up,
Yeah.
and you fling them into the mouths of the Jolly Chomps, which then explode, and you can even deal splash damage to the creatures
Okay.
around them and stuff.
So this is the Throak. So all the creatures have unique attacks that you have to learn. So the Throak, and they have 2 different attacks. So the Throak follows you, and then it will also do an AoE tentacle push. Carter's
Carter's whooping up on
getting
it.
on it.
He's not doing much to that throw. So these are much higher level creatures.
Yeah.
So obviously you're going to be doing very little damage to them, and
This
they'll
is
probably
Sat
one
Gat.
shot.
No.
So this creature, the Satgat, has a smaller creature living in its keg-shaped abdomen, and it has a cap over its belly.
Yeah.
So that pops off and flies at you like a boomerang. That's how it attack. It's pretty bizarre.
So this is
Yeah.
This is the second biome, and then there's another one, the tundra, which we're not showing off just yet.
Okay.
He's got some kinks
few little
worked out.
Some distribution kinks.
Where do these ideas for like creatures and stuff come from?
They
I mean, you just
usually-
sit down and be like, let's throw everything against the wall.
Well,
and
it
just-
actually often comes from a function requirement. So we'll say something like, we need a creature that has sort of like a boomerang style attack.
Yeah.
So then oftentimes Sam will draw something up, and then we'll talk about, based on what it looks like, what it might do. And with the Satgat, the original idea was it has like this kind of cone-shaped hat, which it would fling its hat at you. The problem was the hat was so big that it was much bigger than your character, and it became impossible to figure out how to make you visually be able to dodge it.
Yeah.
So we just put the little belly button cap on the front and had that. It's oftentimes it's just sort of compromise and iteration.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So a lot of it is, we'll sit down and we're like, okay, the last 3 creatures had ranged attacks. We need one that just gets all up in your business.
Yeah.
And then we're like, well, okay, what if it's like got a sort of a shotgun? What a shotgun for a face. And that's actually one of the creatures in the bog called a snorbull. I think it's my favorite. It's
Yeah,
designed
shotgun
around
faces.
a shotgun
It,
face.
it inflates like an airbag and then blasts mucus balls like a shotgun at you.
So this game, we're also doing PC as well. for
Okay.
this, aiming for Steam Greenlight and all that.
And what about so you guys just recently your whole library you kind of converted
Yes.
to
iOS.
with free to play with kind of like a premium unlock style
Yes.
if you choose,
Yep.
and the whole Butterscotch ID thing and everything. So you're gonna do the same thing here?
Maybe.
So
we don't know.
decided-
We know
It'll-
Butterscotch ID will be part of it. So
Yeah.
still for this, because we want to have this idea of the Butterscotch, perks and the cross game library and stuff.
Which I'm a total sucker for, and I signed up and bought. I did all the things and all the games. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I like
but
the
it's a lot
idea.
of fun for us, and it allows us to actually interact with our players in a more interesting way and that sort of thing. So that'll definitely be integrated into it. But we already actually went back with Floprock on iOS and decoupled those.
I saw that update. Yeah.
Yeah, it was because, and the players were right. Players were upset about the idea of
Having to log in.
log in to actually get access.
Thankfully, we had the Touch Arcade forums for them to vent their frustrations on.
And
They're good at venting frustrations.
And
They
we,
were very
and we
nice
just screwed
about
up.
it. Yeah, they're
So we've decoupled those on Flop Rocket since it's exploding right now. Everything else we're gonna roll that out probably next week.
Okay.
So this is gonna be the same. We don't know exactly what the model's gonna be. It's definitely gonna be only one payment. However, and Butterscotch will be part of it to get all that.
Yeah, for us, it's a question of pay up front versus one-time unlock inside the game.
Yeah.
Piracy is a big problem.
Yeah.
Huge problem.
And when we move over to Android, it's really hard to do pay up front.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
But
a
then if you're on Steam too, that's like a whole nother thing.
yeah.
People
It's
we gotta
expect the
it's
opposite.
Every platform
Yeah.
has its issues, and so it's trying to find something that's a happy medium.
So Carter is just murdering Butterflies.
This is all very pretty and colorful. I like it.
Thank you. And nighttime is a gorgeous,
Yeah.
gorgeous
Yeah,
thing.
so these
we go. See, we
these
can
creatures, the
find
glutterflies, only come out of the So if you want to fight them, that's what
Carter
you're
appears to have lost his mind.
I guess you may have just seen that Sam found a recipe while he was attacking.
Oh yeah, so that's another thing we tried to do is better control and understanding of when.
Whoa!
Heal.
You're dead.
These guys poison you with those green balls.
Okay, so when you die in this game, you basically just drop kind of a random smattering of the last couple of things you picked up. Put the gravestone on the map, and you can actually pick those up when you go into the structures mode. So if you pick it up like a wall, and then you can collect all your gravestones and make a little,
awesome.
cemetery.
That's really cool.
Whatever.
We don't yet have anything attached to the gravestone, so for example, it doesn't document, where you died or when you died.
Yeah.
But that might be a fun thing to try.
Yeah.
And while you mentioned the inventory, the contextual aspect of the inventory for equipment and stuff, it's also infinitory.
Yeah.
So you actually can't even see what's in your inventory. It's not even possible. Because we wanted to take away the management aspect of that, so that it's all about going out and exploring and then coming back and building. We just skipped that middle part.
Yeah.
So when you go to build something, it tells you how many of that thing you can build.
Yeah.
And you can see what the parts are you need and how many of each part you have in your inventory without ever having to open up your inventory to see what's
So the only time you'll see, for example, Sam's been picking up sawgrass leaves.
Yeah.
The only time you'll ever see sawgrass leaves is when you're looking at recipes that require sawgrass leaves.
Okay.
Because it's the only time that they're relevant to you as a
Otherwise,
player.
it's needless clutter.
Exactly. So
we
cut
played a
all the
lot
clutter out.
of we played a lot of Terraria and stuff, and you realize that so much of your gaming experience involves moving tiny boxes
And
into
building
tiny boxes.
chests to store your things in,
Yeah.
and labeling the chests.
And we are trying to figure out, we're working on a sort of a cache system, which would allow you to essentially, you will end up having a lot of things in
cache
here,
with
right?
CH.
Yeah.
CH.
PhD.
However, it's spelled. So you will end up having, you'll have a lot of floors, and so say you end up picking up your entire base and moving into the bog with you. We had some players request in the alpha that were like, we love not having to manage the inventory, but it'd actually be nice if we had like one other sort of layer here, which was a cache where you could pop stuff from the active menu here into some sort of holding.
Okay.
Just generally.
So this is something, so we're still kind of working out kinks with the build mode interface and inventory management on that side.
Maybe it could be a man purse or something.
Immerse.
You gotta have immerse.
The Infinimmerse. Very important.
Okay, so when are we going to see this completed?
Oh man.
That's a great question. So
We're close.
It's close. We original target was roughly end of spring.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, original target was last June.
Right. The most
But
recent original
our
target.
newest original target is end of spring. As I think we wrote about on our blogs, Sam is starting a new round of chemo.
Yes.
So I actually got chemo last weekend.
Man, I am surprised that you were here this week.
He's
to
rocking.
be honest.
Feeling great.
I'm glad you're feeling great.
Nobody knows until I go bald, so that won't happen for another 10 days or so. I'm just living it up right now.
So that's going to be a bit more intense than before.
Yeah.
So there's a high probability that it may be pushed ahead.
Yeah. Well, video games are secondary when it comes to things like that.
Yeah. Survival is.
I think I
This is a
read
game about survival, just didn't realize it was going to be in that context.
Well, I read your blog post and you said that last time working on the game was something that helped keep you in good spirits and focused and get through your treatment and stuff like that. So,
I was in the hospital working on the Flop Rocket title art stuff, right?
Yeah,
And I was just easy, and I was nauseous, and I was like, I can't believe I've been working on this. And they kept requesting like additional changes to the trailer stuff, and we're like,
They didn't know that he was in the hospital.
Right.
I didn't tell
They were
them.
like, "Could you change this one word and rebuild the trailer and send us a new link?"
oh my God.
I didn't throw up.
But it worked out fine.
Yeah.
So
Clearly, it worked out great.
The thing is, if anyone gets mad about the game ever being delayed, you can say,
Twice.
it's a good card to play whenever somebody's being belligerent.
But in terms of the timeline, though, right now we sort of made the final balance pass for the first biome, and Seth went through and just sort of retooled all of it, and we all really like where it is.
Okay.
Good feeling.
the
And the
Savannah
nice
is
thing was, is that that pass actually created the whole model for how all the rest should be.
Okay.
And all the content is already there. I mean, there's still more to make.
It's just distributed weirdly.
So you got to have like 300 chairs. Craft, everyone's
so
like, I want a
it's-
cactus chair.
Yeah.
So
I have
it's
to go
something
make
like
a lot
a
of
couple
chairs.
weeks of extra balance work in the other biomes, and then Sam will be making some more things to populate the materials. But other than that, the big thing is the story.
Okay.
And because we want to have a questing system and all that kind of stuff, we made a few versions of it.
Yeah, what you saw at the beginning there was sort of a rudimentary implementation of questing system that we're working on.
But the ideal version is one that we can, any one of us from outside the game environment itself can just write stories and create characters and all that kind of stuff and plug it into the game.
So the other thing
we're working on building that right now.
You haven't actually seen yet, and we haven't been very quiet about, is that there are, the way that we're doing that is also with a suite of NPC races.
So sentient aliens that live here.
Yeah, that you have their own outposts.
Oh, cool.
So there would be even more stuff to go check out. Like this is not a joke, you know,
and that's something that we wanted to really do because we feel like it's something that just about any survival game or crafting game, what they do is they go, you exist.
Yeah.
Go continue existing.
Yeah.
Do it better.
Yeah.
So we wanted to give it a little bit more of a sense of purpose, where you're here for a reason. You know, you're here to get the juice to save the Earth.
Yeah.
But when you get here, obviously you're gonna discover there's a lot more to it than that. There's gonna be lots of other things that already live here that have their own problems that you're gonna help them out. And
I think crafting games are so fun because it feels like you're in a world that exists already, and you
Exactly.
can explore it yourself and make your own adventures.
so we wanted to just take that to
But
the
a lot of
max.
that world feels kind of inanimate because or I guess non-sentient.
It's just there for you to take.
Yeah.
And there are creatures and there are things that are alive, but all of them are inferior to you. You know, we wanted the idea that you're going to go be enmeshed in stuff that's sort of also sentient but unrelated to what you were trying to accomplish.
Yeah, so we'll have some announcements about that once we get that aspect further along.
Okay. Well,
so
it looks awesome.
That's where
This
it
is
is.
a lengthy demo, but I think it was worth it. It looks really good. So, thank you guys. We'll end it on a good note with you exploding in a spatter of gore. Cool. Thank you guys so much for the demo, and of course, good luck through all your treatment and everything.
Thank you.
Have you in our thoughts and wish you the best. So,
Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot, guys.